Right, this is my video of the Hercules Gentle Giant done on my laptop screen because everyone was too impatient to wait for my mate to come round with his webcam, with his HD camera. Anyway, as you can see, I hope you can see that anyway. I made a hatch. Let's see if you can see it there. That's my hatch. I started ripping all the gear out to try and move it back. There's my 260 ampere Cs. I've got a big spec there. The camera's on the front, obviously broken from one of the impacts where the thing won't fly right. I've got my 21 AP in the centre. I don't know if you can see. Just there. These are my ESCs. Current sensor. There's one back there. Another ESC there. Current sensor. I've got, I don't know if you can see these, Savox SC0358, I think it is. I spray painted it, you see. I've got 6 of them. SC0352, if you can see that. I don't know. I've made the hatch there, if you can see inside the skid. I've made that also as a separate battery compartment. I've ripped all this off, I'm going to have to redo the hatch. I've changed the motors, so like I stated, the 4240s, if you can see that. They're a 900 kilovolt motor running an 11 by 8.5 prop. The low centre of gravity, I haven't prepared for this because it is pretty late. I built right on this wing spar here. Now with two 5,000 packs and a 2.2 3-cell, they're 5,000 packs of 4-cell. I've got a 2.2 3-cell that goes there, and that's for all my video gear, so that's separate. Video transmitter in the wing, and receiver in that wing for my controlling. Anyway, so I go to fly this on 9.5 inch. If you can imagine, if you actually manage to get it taken off the ground, if it's going to fly like this. Now it's not ballooning, you know. Imagine when I did actually get it flying level, as it's flying level, I'm trying to pull the nose up. Shouldn't get it up. You know, it was not going up until these flaps both reached a stalling point where they slowed the model down that much to flip its nose up in the air, and you couldn't get the speed up again. I mean, I'm not new to flying, but my GPS here, OSD's on here. We've got, what have we got here? All the wires run independently down. We've got 2 channels, one for the servos. There's actually a wire that runs all the way along here that goes to the edge of the wing. Now my point being that to try and move the centre of gravity back, I've also tried it on this point, if you can see, which is where the wires join. I'm working the centre of gravity to be around here. So we're talking 2 inches, maybe a little bit more further back. Now, like he says, to change the centre of gravity is quite a job. You know, you've got to add quite a lot of weight. You can see this, it's got no weight on the front. Oh yeah, I'll show you. I've done the little wheel mod as well, like I said. So, you know, I'm not lying about anything I'm saying. I've got nothing to achieve by lying. All I'm trying to do is achieve this thing flying. It weighs 9.5 pounds, like I stated, you know. I'm not lying, like I say. I'll stick it on the scales. I just wanted to do one decent video, but seeing as no one believed, I thought I might as well just do a quick one. It's probably not the best quality, but it'll shut a few people up that seem to not believe that something's wrong with this model, you know. So I'd like your suggestions, really. What do you do when someone says that something, you know, I've built this model around that centre of gravity, have to rip all this out was heartbreaking. And now I'm going to have to cut a little section here and maybe fill in one of these to try and allocate some of this here. And it's just not on, you know. You expect when you buy a model for it to be right. You don't expect for it to be wrong and someone, the person who built it, actually giving out wrong information. I'm totally dumbfounded, you know. What would anyone else do in this situation? I've spent a lot of money on this. I've had 240 ampere Cs that burnt out on 8x6 props. I've then, and they were on 1400 kilovolt motors. The motors themselves burnt out 3 out of the 4 motors what I had, so that's why I chose to go bigger with the 11B8.5 that spin a bit slower, a bit more efficient, lose a little bit of that high pitch squealing noise, granted, but there's a lot more torque there, a lot more static thrust. Yeah, that's what you need, you know. I mean, I've had to do the wheels on the bottom just to get the thing rolling on the floor. It doesn't state on 7x4 props that it's going to have a job, even at 1700 kilowatts. It's going to have a job flying. I mean, I don't know. I like going and kicking it. And the amount of money I've had, each one of these servos, 6 servos, £20 a piece, so that's £120. I've got a £100 receiver in the wing. I've got the autopilot system alone. What was that? £250, you know. And you've got my radio, my transmitter, that was £100 odd, and this is all hardwired in now, you know. I can't just pull this stuff out and start reallocating it, like he's saying. I've got a bit of movement on the battery, but like I tried to point out to Lee, everyone knows that a wing flies really nose heavy fine. Well, not fine, but they will fly nose heavy to a certain point. But when you have a wing that's tail heavy, it's hard to fly. Now, with my stuff being the way it is, I've built my centre of gravity between the barrier of 9.5 and say 7.5 inch. Whereas if I'd known this, I would have built it from 9.5 to 11 inch back. It's easy to adjust it so it's more nose heavy, but to get it more tail heavy is going to be a bit more awkward for me. And you expect me just to cut bits out of the wing and place scrap bits of foam in place of it and patch over? With a £280 piece of foam? You know, I've got to treat it with some dignity if it costs me that much money, you know what I mean? And then to get the lack of support and no one seems interested, and all of a sudden it's like, it's changed from 9.5 inch a few days after Chris said that, oh, there's a problem with the centre of gravity, and all of a sudden you've done some testing and it's been moved back to 10.5 to 11 inches. Not just a little bit, I know. You're not talking about this, you're talking moving it back like that. Now, does that seem right to you? After you've actually produced this model, I'm presuming I'm one of the first people who's actually built it and flown it and bought it off of you, because I can't find no videos or nothing and no one else. So please don't call me a liar, and someone try and solve the issue, rather than saying, oh, you've got it wrong, mate. There's no loose slop or anything in these linkages. I've made plenty of models before, you know. The only thing I've never done before is laminating. So let's try and get this sorted, Leah. Seeing as you're the one who's designed the thing, and you're the one who's given out the wrong specification of what's needed to be weighed up where. You know, what would you do if you've just given someone nearly £200 of your hard-earned money to find out that, hey, we sold you a load of shit that we actually know nothing about? It's like, you need to speak these things, you know. Anyway, let's see what it says.